Welcome to part 2 of our 2-part home tour here in Marana, Arizona. We're at the model homes that we designed for the Dove Mountain community affiliated with the Ritz-Carlton. This is our Canyon Club project. Before we go into the home, I have to stop and show you this front door. This is something custom that we designed, that we had locally made. It's all made out of powder-coated steel. We did the reeded glass insert, and I think it gives you the perfect entrance to this home. I always think it's important when you're designing a space to look up. We want our ceilings to be interesting, and I think this home specifically has so many interesting ceiling details. So in the entryway, we wanted to give it a little something because it is quite small entry space. So we accented the lighting with duplicating 4 sconces, and I think that gives it a really interesting element as you walk in. And then I also sourced this artwork vintage in here. It has a little bit of that mixed metal feel, and I think you kind of see that throughout the home. So for the Canyon Club home, you can see that we chose a much more modern material on the flooring. So we did a large format porcelain tile. This one is outdoor rated, so we were able to seamlessly have it on the interior and the exterior of the home. And we intentionally did that different for this model home so people could have an example of what more of that contemporary minimalist feel is. And then what you see first coming into this home is this stunning asymmetrical fireplace. It's really a monumental moment in here. It also helps break up the 2 different ceiling heights by extending it through both spaces, and then you'll see the bookshelf marries the 2 together. We have lots of accents of black. We brought in this statement stone. We did that bevel detail, which is absolutely stunning, and then we also brought in more of that patinaed metal, Vero metal look in the living room. So this is the standout element, and it pairs with everything perfectly in this space. So our Canyon Club home design was meant for the entertainer. So we kept things lower profile, a little bit more minimal, a little bit more open, and this is also inspired by some golf elements. So you'll see little nods, especially in the kitchen, with hardware. So we brought in a little ode to the golf ball element, and then you'll kind of see some different textures that remind you of different sports in this home. And then one of the standout elements that I love of the entire home is the edge detail of the waterfall in the kitchen. This is something I haven't seen done before, and we pushed for it because we knew this was going to be an epic feature, and when you walk in the home, this is one of the first things that you see. So for me, it reminds me of mountains. I feel like we took the shapes of those peaks that you see outside and brought it into the countertop, and it's one of my favorite details. As you go throughout the kitchen, we did a natural stone in here, again, just to give buyers an example what a manufactured stone looks like in our Southwest Zen home, and then what a natural stone looks like in our Canyon Club home. So we did a quartzite. This is a Taj Mahal, really popular stone, and we also ran it up as the backsplash, just keeping it really seamless. And then you'll notice we hid the hood inside of millwork, so everything matches. Everything is super clean. We also have a pot filler in here. This one has your classic Wolfe gas range, which we know buyers are gonna love. We also did an undermount sink over here, matte black plumbing. And then for the lighting, we just did some really clean perforated metal flush mounts. And then you'll also notice all of our appliances are also panel ready. So when you're looking at the kitchen, everything just looks really open, really calming. We also have a microwave drawer hidden in the island. And then on this side of the kitchen, you have a bar. So this could be a morning bar, an evening bar, whatever kind of you want bar. We have textured tile, bringing in a little bit of color, again, playing on the golf theme with the green. We also have some LEDs built into this custom millwork detail with the black stained oak shelving. We also did a nice walk-in pantry with the glass door just off of the kitchen, so great place to store food, extra appliances. And then you flow into our open dining space. I love this space. It's really integrated with the exterior. We did a nice elongated rectangular table, also to give buyers the look of what a rectangle table looks like over a circular one in our other home. And then the light piece in here is really a piece of art. So it's over scale. We love how it looks. It evenly lights up the table. And then we also did some nice abstract, large scale art on this wall. And then as you flow out, you go right into the exterior, again, with that seamless indoor-outdoor material on the flooring. We brought in some more lounge seating in this design. We also collaborated with the landscape designer on the landscape layout. We have a little putting green. We have a nice fire pit. We also have a barbecue dining space, and we have a pergola with a waterfall. So this exterior design is made for the entertainer. The pool has a negative edge, and I can't imagine what else you would need in this space. I would say something that a lot of people notice in our work is custom millwork design. So again, even though this was a semi-custom home, we ended up taking the kitchen cabinetry and running it over and around the doorway. And so it creates what I call a tunnel, and it also makes the space feel bigger. So if that was drywall and this was a cabinet, it would feel disconnected. And this is all storage. So highly, highly functional. This creates extra space for mudroom, utility, pantry. All of these doors are touch release to the ceiling. And then as you turn the corner, we have a nice built-in bench here. So we had this cushion and bolster made for the space with that checkered feel, again, kind of playing on that sports vibe. We continued the reeded detail from the kitchen into this cabinetry. And then at the end of this is a really nice, serene laundry room. So we also have the ceiling mounted hanging rod. We have the same concrete looking quartz countertop. And then you have a nice sink and a bunch of storage below and above. Walking into the primary suite, this is a nice big space. We intentionally designed a custom headboard in here. So even though it was just staging, we wanted to elevate the space as much as we could. So we sourced this walnut burl and designed this custom layout for the headboard. I think this is really the standout element in this room. And then we even integrated the sconces. So there was a little bit of coordination with our mill worker, with the builder, and I think it was worth it. We also chose these overscale nightstands. There's so much texture on these. They look like they are 100 years old, and we absolutely love those. We also did linen on the bedding, so something really textural. We brought in some nice fur, again, for more of that luxury upscale hotel feel. And then you'll even see on the floating console across from the bed, it has a really beautiful global look to it, and I just love this room. Just off of the primary bed is the beautiful primary bathroom. So we have a really nice double sink situation. We have the tub in the middle, and here we designed a platform for the tub. We're accenting this whole bathroom with the black fixtures. So black sinks, black tub, black plumbing. And then we also brought the Taj Mahal quartzite into the waterfall on the countertops and onto the platform. So a little bit more modern and clean in here. Then we also continued the same floor tile up the walls, which again, we love to do. I think it just expands the space, gives it a more high-end feel, and it's also just super functional, easy to keep clean. You don't need drywall in your bathrooms. And then walking into the shower. So playing on that moody feel, we brought in this textural porcelain tile. We also added an LED cove at the top of the shower. So draws your eye upward, gives you a soft, nice light. And then you have a shared bench, niche, which again, when you look into the shower, you won't see all of your stuff. It's nice and put away. And then you have both entrances into the shower, which is amazing. Welcome to the guest wing of our Canyon Club project. So walking into the first guest suite, we brought in a fun, unexpected element with the green velvet on the bed. We also brought in some of those curves, some mid-century lamps, again, playing with texture on the nightstands, just trying to layer as much as possible, make it feel as curated as possible, because again, I feel like model homes typically lack that character in that upscale environment. And then walking into the bathroom, you'll notice we intentionally did a thick countertop edge here. This is also quartz, really beautiful concrete look. We also did the ramp sink in here. We also brought a nice LED mirror, so great for lighting, super functional. And then you'll notice we have the soft lighting underneath the vanity as well as the soft lighting in the niche. So this to me definitely feels like a hotel, and I think it's perfect for guests. So who doesn't love some extra storage? So on the floor plan, we saw an opportunity to add some more storage. So this is great for linens. We designed it all the way to the ceiling, so even more storage, also draws your eye upward in what would be like a more of a dark hallway. And then again, we played on the really nice, beautiful hardware that we have in the kitchen. And then walking into this room, this is one of my favorite guest bedrooms as well. We love the texture on the furniture. Really unique piece. Again, just more curated, gives it that found look. And then we also brought that pretty walnut into the bed frame. I feel like in here you get a little bit of that sporty, golf, vintage, art deco vibe with these alabaster table lamps. They have that really pretty stitch looking detail on the edge of the lamp. We brought in this really pretty natural stone side table, and then you'll see some vintage golf artwork. This guest bedroom also has a nice ensuite bath, and in here we brought in a little bit more of a chocolate moment with the square tile. This is on our vanity wall as a focal point, running into the shower niche. Again, more LEDs on the base of the vanity as well as the niche, and then you'll see the play on the sports element with the pendant lighting. This room is why we called this house the Canyon Club Project. We wanted to make a room feel kind of like a speakeasy. Again, this is the entertainer's home, and we felt like we wanted to do something really moody and unexpected. So you'll notice we did a lime plaster on these walls. It's a really like dark mink meets plum color. So it has a little bit of a purple undertone, but gives it a really nice soft feel. It doesn't make the space feel smaller. A lot of people sometimes think that painting their walls darker will actually make the space feel smaller, but most of the time it actually makes it feel bigger. So we kept the ceiling light in here just to not create it too much as a cave. But then you'll notice on the ceiling, we came up with this custom millwork design that the builder was able to pull off with the integrated sconces. And again, for a model home and a semi-custom home community, I think that detail is incredible. To bring kind of that vintage speakeasy feel, we sourced this desert golf artwork, and I think it came out amazing. It fits the home perfectly and the property. And then in this corner is something unexpected. So we also designed this three-dimensional millwork detail on the back of the bar. We continued the Taj Mahal quartzite in here into a waterfall, so now you have a dedicated bar space if you're entertaining. Over here, we also have appliances. We have an undermount sink. We did the black and wood faucet, which is super cool. And then over here, we did some floating shelving, LEDs, and a nice space to display bottles, glassware, and have a nice party. So just off of the lounge, we have this really swanky powder bath. It brings the same moody vibe in here. We have the Taj Mahal with the integrated sink. We have the black plumbing fixtures. And then for the mirror, we brought in something unexpected, again, playing on the sports and the golf theme. So we sourced this green mirror that has a green lacquer and green fabric frame, and we think it's super awesome in here. That concludes our two-part home tour in Dove Mountain here in Marana, Arizona. We were so grateful to work on these two model homes. We hope you guys love it. We hope you guys see ways that you can customize your home but still make it attainable and approachable. Let us know what you think about our Canyon Club project and the Southwest Zen in the comments. And if you have any questions about our design services, head to KaitlynWolfe.com.